everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Allison. This is going to be my first knitting related video. I hope you get cozy. I've got myself an iced honey matcha because it is currently 30 degrees here in France. It did just start storming a little bit, although it does seem to be done already somehow, like storm for like 10 minutes, I don't know. But so if it does start up again, and you might hear some like rain or thunder. So get cozy and let's get started. So for my first video, I wanted to just talk about my knitting journey. So I have been knitting since the start of 2025. So like 1.5 years now, although I've been taking it more seriously since like September last year. So almost a year-ish. And so in this time I have slowly, very slowly, I'm not a very fast knitter, at least not with like finishing projects. Like while I knit, I feel like it can be pretty fast, but I have ADHD. I can't work on the same thing for like hours at a time, except if I'm like very hyper focused, but that doesn't happen as much these days. So I will sometimes just knit for like 15 minutes and then I'll put it aside for the next few days, which means that my projects usually take a while to complete. Although I've been on a pretty good knitting kick lately, which is very nice because it always frustrates me to no end when my projects take me like months and months and months, because then I'm again ADHD, I'm not interested anymore and I want to just work on something else. So I don't actually have that many like work in progresses. I have 2, I will show you later, which for me feels like a success because I probably could have like 10 if I allowed myself to just cast on whatever. But yeah, so first of all, I want to show you my finished objects, which there are a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. A total of 8 finished knitting objects since I started like 1.5 years ago-ish. The very first of which I can currently not find, but it wasn't very special anyway. I knit some fingerless gloves for myself as my very first project. It was a free pattern on YouTube by Knitting House Square, but basically it's just a ribbed fingerless glove where you knit it flat, because again it was my first ever project, so I didn't know yet how to knit in the round, etc. I wanted to start with something very basic. So it is genuinely just a rectangle that you then seam on the sides with a hole in the middle so your thumb goes through, and then like there's no actual like thumb knitting part, it's just a hole that your thumb goes through. I knit that in drop snipple in the color Fog, but it's a very pretty color actually, so I have used them and they did keep me very warm because it is, I think, 70% wool, 30% alpaca, if I got that correctly. I don't remember fully, but anyway, full like natural yarn. And so it did keep me very warm, although of course my fingertips were a bit chilly at times since they are obviously fingerless, but that's just my fault for not knitting like actual mittens or full gloves. Then my second thing I knit, which I am quite proud of if I do say so myself, is the Step by Step sweater by Florence Miller. You will see it here. It has not like the ends have not been woven in, sadly. I have also not worn it. Like I've tried it on, of course, once it was done, but I have not worn it. I also have not blocked it, which is maybe why I haven't worn it, but I haven't blocked it mostly because I just couldn't really be bothered to, which is a little bit sad. I think part of that is because I felt like by the end of the project I'd gotten so much better at knitting that now I feel like the start and the overall like quality of it is not as good as it could have been, and so I might not, like, I just haven't really felt the urge to wear it. This I started at the start of 2025. Like I said, like when I started knitting, like it's literally the second project I ever made after the fingerless gloves, which obviously took me like 1 day to make. Except I started this, I knit on it for a couple of weeks at the start of 2025, and then I did not continue knitting on it until September 2025. So I had like almost half a year, maybe a little more even, where I just did not knit at all. Like I didn't knit anything. It was summer and everything. I mean, now it's summer and I'm knitting, but I just wasn't really in the like knitting vibe yet. In September I picked it back up, and then I finished it rather quickly, I feel like, for a like adult sized sweater. I finished the body probably in like a month, and then I did both of the sleeves. So I think the full sweater might have been finished like in November, December. I'm honestly not sure. This is knit again in Drops Nepal, but in the colors powder pink for the light pink color. It's like a light pink, but has a slight cool tone, like a slight bluish tone to it. So it in certain lighting it looks a little bit purplish, but it is light pink. And then in the color medium gray for the like stripes, medium gray. Yeah, Drops Nepal. It is nice. I again have not worn it. I also think because it is a high neck, like, which is I think how the pattern is supposed to be, though I've seen people make it more crew neck vibe. But me, obviously, was my first project, so like I didn't really know what I was doing when I cast it on with my like cast on is maybe a little bit tight, and then anyway, and then it's knit top down completely, so even the collar is like knit, like that's the first thing you knit, and so that's maybe why it also doesn't fit as good, because if I had done the collar at the end, which is not how the pattern is made, of course, so that's why I didn't do it, but my skills were better by the end, and so I could have knit the collar a little bit better. But anyway, so it is a little bit high on my neck when I wear it, and honestly I cannot stand wearing like high necked things. So again, I'm hoping, I do want to try wearing it this winter, the coming winter, because obviously right now I'm not wearing this in 30-degree weather or anything close to that. I might wear it genuinely just when it's at like 0 degrees. But I do want to block it, and so I'm gonna block it and try to stretch the collar as much as possible, so that even if it is high, it doesn't like fully touch my neck, if that makes sense. Otherwise I might just not be able to wear it. I do, however, think it might be big enough for my girlfriend to fit it, and she has less problems with like high necked stuff. Like she's less sensitive, so I might just give it to her. Yeah, anyway, it looks very cute. I do think it looks nice. I feel like there are not too many extremely obvious mistakes. It's obviously not perfect, and the like my tension is not very great. In the back you can see where I like changed rows, because at first I didn't know yet how to like make like a jogless knitting in the round stripes thing. But yeah, I am still very proud of it. It is a full-sized adult sweater knit from start to finish by myself, as my like literally second project, but like first real project, I feel like. So I am very, very proud of it, and I do want to keep it, even if I end up never wearing it, or no one ever ends up wearing it. I want to keep it just for sentimental sakes. But yeah, so this is my second ever knitted project. Then let me see, then I made 2 projects which were honestly like very simple, like little accessories that I knit. Actually, I might have knit these while working on the step-by-step sweater, because obviously the step-by-step sweater is such a long project that I did knit a few little things in between. So last year for my girlfriend's birthday, which was again in September, I knit her 2 accessories. First of all, I knit her this little scrunchie, which is, it's like a, oh, there's like hair all over it. It's like an ombre yarn. So one side is like more of a darker brown, and the other side has a little bit of brown, but also like cream color, and then it does have like a thread of gold all throughout. I don't know if you can see that properly. Anyway, it's just a simple scrunchie. I don't remember the pattern, and the yarn is genuinely just like an acrylic yarn from Action, which is a store we have in Europe. I think it might be all over Europe, I'm not sure. We have it in France, in the Netherlands, etc. But yeah, so I don't remember the pattern or the yarn, like the name of the yarn. But the yarn is like an acrylic yarn, which is why I used it for an accessory, because I just had some left. I used to crochet. Like a few years ago. I don't really crochet anymore, but I used to crochet a lot of like, how do you say, like a lot of decorations and like accessories, and like I never really knit any garments, but I've knit like coasters and plushies and everything. So I had a bunch of like acrylic yarn in stock for that, because I used to not care about buying any natural yarns, because I wasn't like wearing it as an actual item. It was just to put around the house. Anyway, so I used some of my random acrylic yarn to make some accessories. So this is the first one, which is a cute little scrunchie. I could put it in my hair like at any time, of course, but because it's such a woolly, it's not wool, but it is a woolly looking yarn. It's like fuzzy and stuff, like it has a little bit of a mohair vibe to it. It looks very wintry to me, and again, it's for my girlfriend, so her choice when she wants to wear it. But of course we share our accessories and stuff, so I could technically wear this whenever, but yeah, it's giving me winter vibes, so or like at least autumn vibes, so I have not really used it so much, but it is very cute. I think it's pretty cute. This took me like maybe a few hours to knit in one day, so that was a very nice project. Then the next one, again, it's a random acrylic yarn from Action, which again I don't know the name of, and the pattern I also don't remember, but it's like a basic beanie pattern, which is in this like dark pink color. It has like ribbing, which has a line in the middle, like you knit, basically you just knit a whole row, I think, so that it makes the fold over neat, so you have like an actual line to fold, and then the rest is just stockinette in the round, which this no, yeah, obviously the step-by-step sweater was my first like in the round project, but anyway. And then it just has like a 1, 2, 3, 4 point decrease at the top. Yeah, again, I don't remember the pattern. Of course, maybe I just didn't knit it as good as I could have now. Like the decreases are not very tight, they're like a little gappy, but yeah. Anyway, this is when I just started getting back into knitting, so it's not my best work, but still usable, so that's always good. And yeah, we'll definitely be using this again the coming winter when it's cold. The next thing I knit, which this one is the first one that I was like, I mean, I was proud of the step-by-step sweater, like I said, but I was by the end of it feeling like I could have done better at certain points. And this project is the first one where I'm like this is actually good. Like, I don't know, I mean, of course you can always get better, but like there's not really anything I would really necessarily change about this one. Which is some, again, fingerless gloves, but again, for my girlfriend, because apparently I like knitting stuff for my girlfriend. I don't even know. I just want to make her happy, so I just knit stuff for her. So I knit her these, which they obviously fit me too. And these ones, I feel like they look very, very nice. I used a thinner yarn and a thinner needle. I don't remember which one. I think it might have been a 3mm needle. And I did do this on magic loop. Like I used the magic loop technique to knit this, which I feel like you can't really tell. To be honest, the joints are like here on the sides of the hand, but I feel like you can't tell, like whatsoever. Maybe in the ribbing slightly, but besides that, I feel like you can't really tell. This is a like a fingerless glove pattern by Iris Makes, I think, or H Iris or Iris Makes. I'm not sure, to be honest. But it's a very nice pattern. I did modify it slightly. The actual pattern doesn't have like any actual ribbing. It just says like to do 1 round of ribbing and then just to have like a little bit of an edge. But I asked my girlfriend and she wanted real ribbing. So I used the rest of the pattern completely, like the sizing, the stitch counts, the increases, everything. I just made ribbing for a few extra rounds instead of doing normal stockinette. So yeah, and this is knit in the Katja Basic Merino yarn, which is a 50% merino, 50% acrylic. So again, it does have a slight acrylic to it, but I bought it in a local yarn store and I just thought it looked cute. And they're in the color chocolate brown 106, like 106, which is a very pretty, super dark brown yarn, which again, my girlfriend chose because these are her gloves. But yeah, very happy with these. I finished these, I think, in February, because I'm pretty sure I gave them to her for Valentine's Day. Anyway, very nice. She has used these a lot this winter. Like, since I finished them, she used them in like February and March while it was still cold. So very proud of these. So I am very happy with that. The next thing I knit, which I don't have with me because it was a gift knit for my mom, and obviously my mom is not here. She lives 5 hours away from me. But I made her the Warm Wishes hot water bottle cover by Pearl Soho, which I will ask her for a photo, and otherwise I'll just insert the like pattern picture. And this one I knit, so it's just a cover for a hot water bottle, like, you know, when you're cold in the winter. And I knit her this for Christmas actually, and I did get to give it to her for Christmas, which I was very happy about because I've never worked with an actual deadline before for knitting. Like, usually I tell, like, if I make stuff with my girlfriend, I tell her, oh, I'll give it to you for your birthday, but you know, we live together, so if I'm 2 weeks late, like, it doesn't matter. My mom, I actually did give this to her when we saw each other for Christmas. And it's like a stockinette project. But I knit that in Drops Fiesta Rainbow Sprinkles, that's the color, which is like a lot of pink but with rainbow sprinkles throughout. So the main like vibe of the color is pink, like a light, yeah, like pretty medium bright pink, but it has again rainbow sprinkles throughout. So there's a little bit of yellow, a little bit of blue, a little bit of green, all mixed throughout. It's a very variegated yarn, which I loved. I think the color was very pretty. I actually might have some still, but I'm too lazy to get up and get it. But yeah, the color was very pretty. I'm really happy with how the actual project turned out. It's just when I had to seam at the end, I was rushing because again, it was Christmas. Like, I literally finished it the day I gave it to her. But so the like seam is not very pretty. It's a little bit gappy and loose, but you know, it's just a cover for a hot water bottle, so it doesn't really matter. My mom didn't seem to care. She doesn't know much about knitting, so you know, she can see that it's holy, of course, but she's not gonna be like, oh my god, look, your decreases are wrong or whatever. So medium-ish happy with this. The actual project is nice. I would probably redo the ending, like the seam at some point maybe, but again, maybe can't be bothered. But if I would do it again now, I would definitely try to make this better. My next finished object is one I am again very, very proud of. This is like probably to this day my most proud knitting project that I've made. Like my most, how do I say, like this is the one I'm most proud of so far, which is the Stockholm slipover, but the junior version, which is by Petite Knit, of course. I feel like everyone knows that. Yeah, and I made this for my son who turned 2 in April, and I actually finished it just for him to wear, like just on the day of his birthday party that we did with like family and stuff. So he did get to wear this on his birthday party, which I was super, super, super happy about. I think it looks very nice. I think my tension it's not the best, especially in the beginning when you knit back and forth flat. But overall, I think my tension is pretty good. I'm very happy with how it looks. It fits him perfectly. I'll insert a picture without showing his face, but I'll insert a picture of him wearing it. And yeah, he's worn it a few times since I finished it, and I just can't believe like that my own son is wearing something that I knit for him. That just makes me very happy and very proud. But yeah, this one is very cute. I knit it in Drops Cotton Merino in the color Rust, which is the color 25. And it's a cotton merino, which I did on purpose because obviously it's a slipover. So I did want him to be able to wear it in like the spring or in the summer on days when it's not 30 degrees, obviously. But here in France, we get a lot of, especially we live in the north of France, we get a lot of like summer days when it's raining and gray and it's like 20 degrees. So he could definitely wear this then. So far he's been wearing it with little rompers underneath or like a little t-shirt underneath, but he could technically wear this to skin because the yarn is very, very like soft. Not really soft, but like smooth. Like it doesn't itch whatsoever. And me, I'm very, very sensitive, but this does not itch whatsoever. So if ever you want to make something in a yarn that is smooth and not, it's not, obviously it's not going to be the warmest thing ever because it is half cotton. I'm not sure even if it's half. Well, it's partly cotton anyway. So it's not as warm as like a full merino yarn or alpaca, of course. But yeah, so if for summer or like spring, autumn, whatever, for like a little bit of a warmer temperature, you want to knit something with a yarn that is smooth and not itchy whatsoever, I promise you, cotton merino from Drops is very good. And yeah, this is the color Rust, so it's a very pretty, I do find that it shows differently on camera than in real life, so I'm not sure how this is picking up right now. It might look more bright on camera, but in real life it's a very pumpkin-y orange color. So it is orange, but it is slightly muted and like slightly not brown, but it has like, you know, like a pumpkin. It has some kind of brownish vibe to it, which is a perfect color in my opinion for my son to wear. I wouldn't really wear an orange like this. I don't think this would suit me very much, so honestly, if you think otherwise, let me know. But I tend to knit more like cool tone stuff for myself, or like pastels and stuff. But yeah, very, very happy with this. Obviously my son is too small to tell me what he thinks because he's two. He does talk, of course, but he, you know, if I ask him, do you like it? He's gonna tell me yes, even though he might not actually like it. But he looks very cute in it, so I'm very, very happy. And this is genuinely, like, it has a lot of drape. I do know that cotton tends to like stretch or like lose its shape a bit, but honestly, I don't really care about that, especially since it's just for my son, who's not gonna even be able to wear it for that long. I do think it has still space when he wears it, and I could again probably stretch it if I blocked it. Again, I did block this one. If I reblocked it and like stretched it, like he could probably wear it for a while still. So we'll see if he can still wear it next spring. He'll definitely be able to wear it this autumn, I'm sure of that, but next spring I'm not sure. We'll see. But he looks very cute and it's very, very nice, and I'm super happy with it. The pattern was very easy to follow, and yeah, I'm just super proud of this one. So yeah, and then my most recent finished object is a pair of socks, which are my first ever knitted socks, obviously, otherwise you would have seen some earlier, but they are my first ever knitted socks, and I am very proud of them. I started them and I did do the ends of them on double pointed needles, but the main part and the second sock up until the end I did on short circulars, which was revolutionary. I really don't like double pointed needles. They're okay, of course, when really necessary, but the shorties were genius. And so these are the Slow Morning DK socks by Woolen Sun. And so this is what they look like. Again, these are for my girlfriend. I don't know what I have. I just knit for my girlfriend all the time. I don't know. For my girlfriend and my son. Like, what have I knit for myself? Genuinely just the Step by Step sweater, which I have not worn, might not wear, and might still give to my girlfriend. So honestly, I kind of need to start knitting something for myself soon. But anyway, yeah, I am knitting for myself, something for myself at the moment, but I'll show you that after. So yeah, these are the socks, which are very pretty. They're like a ribbed sock up all the way down, up the leg, and then down the foot. At the front, at the back it's stockinette, of course, to walk on, but yeah, like a full ribbed pattern, and then obviously with a stockinette toe. I'll try to flatten it so you can see, like that. And yeah, they look very nice. I'm very happy with them. They are in Drops Fiesta Roasted Almond, which is the color Print 30. And yeah, they look very pretty. Again, they're for my girlfriend. She fits them very nicely. I did make the leg shorter than it said on the pattern, so you were supposed to knit the like leg portion up until the heel for 20 centimeters, and I did, I think, 11. I did 40 rows, which I think came out to about 11 centimeters, because my girlfriend wanted to have some that were a little bit shorter. And yeah, anyway, I'm very happy with them. They look very cute. They are, however, DK, like, mostly wool socks. It has some nylon, I think, because it is sock yarn, but anyway. So they are DK wool socks, so she will not be wearing these right now, but she will, of course, be wearing them in the winter or in the autumn even, but mostly in the winter. And I do think they will be home socks because, again, DK, so they are a bit thick. Unless she like wears them in boots. I don't know how comfy she'll be with that. It depends. But yeah, very cute. I'm very happy with them. I knit these for her for Mother's Day. So you can see a theme. Every time there is an occasion of some kind, I will knit something for someone except for myself. I should honestly put a deadline to like knit myself something for my birthday, but I don't think this is gonna happen anytime soon. But yeah. So, some socks, which I am very proud of. And I am going to take a matcha break. Okay, so these are all of my finished projects so far in my knitting journey, which honestly I'm very, very happy with. I honestly can't believe I knit 8 projects in the last 1.5 years. Less than a year even if you count that I knit most of them starting September last year. So I am very proud of that. I'm very happy. And then I have 2 work in progresses. One that I started last summer, but then finished the body and the collar and have not finished the sleeves because by the time I was done with the body and collar, the weather got too warm to actually wear it. And so I was like, I'll just make sure to finish it before next autumn when it would actually be worn. Yeah, logic. But this is the, I'm gonna get it out. The Storm Sweater Junior, again, for my son. Still nothing for me, huh? The Storm Sweater Junior by Petite Knit, again. Alright, let me figure this out. It is still obviously on the needles. And I have, since this week, picked up stitches for the sleeves, and I have knit a few rounds for the first sleeve. This is very pretty. It's an all over textured pattern, as you can see, of course, which is my first time. When I started this, of course, it was my first time knitting something with texture. I'm thinking, no, because even my socks, they're like just like ribbed, which is not, I mean, texture is still just pearls and knits, but anyway, this is my first time doing in like actual full-on textured pattern. I love it. It looks beautiful. It is a bit annoying for me to do because there's no way for me to memorize the pattern. Like, genuinely, I don't know if people can, but me, I cannot memorize it. I have to like highlight every row because it has charts. I highlight every row when I finished it because I cannot keep track otherwise. And so this is a project that needs a lot of attention, and that like I can't like watch YouTube at the same time or like listen to an audiobook, which I do like to do when I knit stockinette. I can't do that with this one, which is why also it has taken a little bit longer and I am less focused on it, because sometimes I just want a simple stockinette project where I don't have to think and I again can listen to like an audiobook or whatever. But I have just picked up stitches, of course, for this first sleeve, so I am gonna try to finish this during the summer and end of like beginning of autumn, so that my son will be able to wear this towards the autumn and into the winter, because it is again a wool sweater, so it's too warm for now. I knit this in Drops Lima Sage Green, which is a very, very beautiful color. I honestly would like to make something for myself in this color, because it's very beautiful. I love it. It's a very muted, soft, pastel-y green, but yeah, again, like muted, like a bit grayish, you know, sage green, obviously, but very, very pretty. I love it. The yarn is very nice. I have obviously not blocked it at all because I haven't finished it, so I haven't blocked it. But so I have been working on this, yeah, since I think last August. But again, haven't knit on it for the past couple of months, and I am restarting now, so hopefully it'll be finished on time. Then my last work in progress that's on the needles at the moment is for me, for once, and it is something that's very summer vibes, which is why I started it. Let me show you. So this is the Paloma scarf by, I'm honestly not sure what the name is right now. I'm gonna look on my pattern. 1 second, I'm trying to, because it keeps rolling up. So it is a pointel like scarf like pattern, but except the pattern has 2 sizes, and so if you knit the small size it makes like a bandana size, which is my goal with it. It's very hard to show right now because my needles are long and they keep rolling up, but it is a pointel pattern, which is very, very pretty. I'll insert a photo so you can see what the finished project is supposed to look like. But it is very, very pretty. I'm knitting it in a light blue, which is from Knitting for Olive Pure Silk. So this is a very summery project. Of course, I didn't want to knit anything in like a wool yarn for summer, because there's no way I would wear that. At least me, in my opinion, I wouldn't, because I'm terrible with heat. So okay, but yeah, so it's pure silk, which is a very thin yarn, but it does work up very beautifully on, I'm using I think 3mm needles. Yeah, 3mm needles, and again pointel, so it has all the little holes, which is just like yeah, anyway, this is my first time doing pointel, but I do love it. But again, it's the same as the sweater that I'm making at the moment. I can't like listen to anything while knitting on it. Like I have to fully focus, highlight every row, etc., count all my stitches, so it does take a bit more work. But of course this is a small project, because it's just a bandana, so it's a lot smaller than like a full-sized sweater. And I am hoping to finish this relatively soon, and I chose to make this right now because I want to be able to knit on something while it is 30 degrees, as we are having right now. Like we had a heat wave I think 2 weeks ago, and then we're having another heat wave right now, and then obviously in the summer it'll be like 25-30 degrees a bit most of the time, and I cannot stand holding like real wool when it is 30 degrees. It's too warm. I can't do it. So I wanted something light and airy to work on in the summer. So yeah, so this is Knitting for Olive Pure Silk in the color Ice Blue. I don't know if I mentioned the color. The color is Ice Blue, which is a very pretty, super light blue color. Like obviously a very cool toned blue, which I think looks very nice. I think it's gonna look pretty in my hair. I'm gonna wear it, of course, as a bandana in my hair. So I think with my blonde hair it'll look pretty nice. And mostly I am, as like my main goal, although I hope I'll be able to wear it throughout the summer before that, but I have a wedding to go to in September, which is like cottagecore themed, so I'm hoping that I can wear it in my hair for that. But yeah, anyway, these are my work in progresses, and then I will just very quickly mention my knitting plans that are like actual full plans. I have so much stuff I want to make, but like ones that I'm genuinely like so excited to make. One of them I'm 100% sure I'm gonna make. The second one I very much would like to try, which is the Cumulus blouse, again by Petite Knit, but in Drops Air Ruby Red, which I have all the yarn for. Like I ordered the yarn last winter, like now in December or whatever, January maybe, but I just didn't start working on it yet because I had other work in progresses already. but I do want to work that up now during the summer / autumn so that I can wear it maybe for Christmas or like at least during the winter. And then I would love to make the Mariel blouse by Maria Verden, I think is how you say it, which is like a pointel blouse, like sweater, but like a lighter gauge, like a sweater. There is also a cardigan version, and there is coming, like, there's a top version coming out soon, but me, I would like to make the sweater version because I think it looks very cute and pretty. And I don't know yet in what yarn I'm gonna make this. I haven't bought any yarn yet. I was thinking about making it in Drop Sky, just to have something that's a little bit thinner, but that has like the same airiness as like Drops Air, because I think it might be a bit similar in texture. But I'm not sure if that would make the pointel stand out good enough, so I need to think about it. And I would like to make it in like a minty color, or like a light blue, or like a mint color, like light green, light blue-ish. I don't know, I'm not sure. Maybe I'll make it in a lilac, light purple, very light purple, lavender, or like a mix of all of those. My favorite color is purple or like lilac. But yeah, so I might make it in one of those colors and maybe in that yarn. Otherwise I might try to make it in like a Knitting for Olive merino yarn, but I'm not sure because I also would like to knit a cardigan at some point, which I haven't done just because I hate purling and I don't want to have to purl for an entire project. And I know you have like sticking projects, but I don't know. Anyway, I would like to make a cardigan at some point, and this I for sure, like, I'm envisioning a cardigan. I don't know which pattern, just a basic stockinette cardigan, maybe with like some balloon sleeves or something, but in the Knitting for Olive merino in Dusty Rose. This is how I'm envisioning it in my head, like a dusty pink little cardigan, stockinette cardigan. But yeah, again, so these are my plans for now, but again, they might change in the future. I want to make my son a bunch of stuff, obviously. I want to make some accessories. I want to knit for my like cousins. They're also little kids, so I want to like make them a little beanie or something like that. I want to make a little like a little pixie bonnet for my son, even though I know he's like gonna be almost 3 when he needs to wear it this winter, but I just think it would look so cute. I wish I would have made him something like that when he was a real baby, and it would have looked the most adorable-ish. But anyway, we are raising him very, like, not gender neutral, but like very without any gender stereotypes, gender norms, stuff like that. So, and along with that goes that just because something is usually worn as a baby, I feel like he could wear it as a toddler. I don't know, let me know if I'm crazy, but I would love to see him in a little pixie bonnet. I just feel like he would look like a little hobbit, which is the vibe that I have with raising him. I just wish we could all be hobbits living in a hole in the ground. Anyway, so that's the vibe for that. And I would like to make that for him to also wear in the winter, but again, that's like a small accessory project, and I haven't bought any yarn yet or really decided on a pattern because there's a bunch of them that all look kind of similar to me. But I would like to make that. Anyway, that has been my knitting journey so far. I hope this was interesting. I'm sorry I like rambled for I don't even know how long, almost an hour probably. I don't know. I might edit this down a bunch. But yeah, anyway, I hope this was interesting. Let me know your knitting journey, if you have knit anything similar to me, if you have made any of these projects before, if you have any recommendations for yarn, for the Marielle blouse, or any of the other things I've mentioned. And yeah, anyway, I'd love to chat in the comments, and thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!